Hi, we from Group 7 would like to present Chapter 6 about Auditing System Development Lifecycle and Business Continuity. My name is Siti Sarah binti Azrani, 256063. In this chapter, we'll cover 6.4 Controlling and Auditing System Development, Acquisition and Maintenance, 6.5 Disaster Recovery and Business Continuity Planning and Auditing. Controlling and Auditing System Development. I will explain the 5 controlling activities that deal with the authorization, development, and implementation. The first one is the system authorization activities. A system must be properly authorized to ensure their economic justification and feasibility. Typically, this requires that each of new system be submitted in writing by user to the system professionals who have both the expertise and authority to evaluate and approve or reject the request. Second one is the user specification activities. User must be actively involved in the system development process because the proposed system is technically complex. Regardless of the technology involved, the user can provide a detailed written description of the logical needs that must be satisfied by the system. The creation of a user specification document often involve the joint efforts of the user and the system professional. However, it is most important that this document remain a statement of a user needs. Thirdly is the technical design activities. The technical design activities translate the user specification into a set of details, technically specification of a system that meets those needs. The scope of these activities is system analysis, general system design, feasibility analysis, and detailed system design. The adequacy of these activities is measured by the quality of documentation that emerge from each phase. Specific documentation requirements were discussed previously. Fourth is about the internal audit participation. As we know, the internal auditor plays an important role in the control of system development activities. There is a five flow. First one is system planning. It's a 5 things. Second one is system analysis. Third one is conceptual system design, evaluate and selection, system implementation. Internal auditor need to review the system planning. The internal auditor need to review the planning process to verify that the system produced are consistent with the organization goals and objectives. In the system analysis, the internal need to have knowledge in computer technology and with the solid gaps of recent problem of user server. In the conceptual system design, determine if the user is the system under consideration is a good candidate for an integrated audit features. In the evaluating and selection, only escapable costs are used, reasonable interest rate, one-time and recurring costs, realistic useful life, and intangible benefit. And last one is system implementation. It's to provide technical expertise, specific documentation standard, and verify control adequacy and compliance with the SOX. The fourth one is the user task and acceptance procedure. Just before implementation, the individual modules of the system must be tested as a unified whole. A test team comprising user personnel, system professionals, and internal personnel subject that the system to rigorous testing. Once the task team is satisfied that the system meets the requirement, the system is formally accepted by the user department. The formal testing and acceptance of the system by the user is considered by many auditors to be the most important control over the SDLC. This is the audit objective. First one is to verify the SDLC activities applied consistently and accordance with the policy. Second one is determine that the system as originally implemented was free from material error. Third one, to confirm that the system was judged to be sensory and justified at various checkpoints to the SDLC. Fourth one is to verify that system documentation is sufficiently accurate and complete to the facility audit and maintenance activities. This is audit procedure. The auditor should select a sample of complete project and review the documentation for evidence of compliance with SDLC policy. Specific point for review should include user and computer service management properly authorize the project, then primarily feasibility study show that the project had merit. A detailed analysis of the user need was conducted that resulted in alternative general design. A cost-benefit analysis was conducted using reasonable accurate figure. Then the project documentation shows that the detailed design was an appropriate and accurate solution to the user problem. And we proceed to the test results show that the system was truly tested at both the individual module and the total system level before implementation. There is a checklist of a specific problem detected during the conversion period along with the evidence that they were corrected in the maintenance phase. And last one, the system documentation complies with organization requirement and standard. This is information system acquisition. One of the most valuable assets of modern business organization is a responsive and user-oriented information system. Organization habis ke? Information system acquisition. One of the most valuable assets of modern business organization is a responsive, user-oriented information system. Usually, organizations acquire information system in two ways. First one is they develop customized system in-house development in-house through formal development system activities. And second one is they purchase commercial system. So this principal task of information system specialists involve modifying the application for their employee needs and integrated the application to create an current system architecture for the firm. I will explain more about the in-house development and commercial system. In-house development, or we can call it internal development. Many organizations require systems that are highly tuned to their needs. So this firm will design their own system, information system, through the in-house development activities. In-house development maintaining a full-time system, staff of analytics and programmers who identify user information needs and create custom system. One of two broad methods is used is lifecycle development or rapid application development (RAD), And in-house development also used by the software vendors, which need to provide more general customizable system. Okay. Next one is the commercial system. We can need external sourcing. This is a growing number of systems are purchased from software vendors. Faced with many competing packages, each with unique features and attribution, management just need to choose which software that they want that fit with their company needs. Okay. In other case, the company may outsource just development or maintenance of their information system, with the outside company being a system developer. Companies may choose to acquire an application by leasing a proprietary package from a vendor under license and having a software customized internally or externally by the vendor or other outside of contract.
So, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum. So, I will present about four factors contributed to the growth of commercial software market. So, as we know, commercial system, or we call it as external sourcing, where we outsource or let people with expertise to develop our information system or software. So, four factors. Firstly, why most organization they tend to external sourcing their system because it has low cost. As we know, the general commercial software is low cost than customized software like in-house development, where in-house they need require many staff and many costs to bear. So they most company tend to go to commercial system or external sourcing. And then second one is the emergence of industry specific vendors growing. So right now we can see that many specialized vendors they already create or develop uh, particular type of system such as for hospital management, logistic, accounting. So many growing vendors for specific industry. So the third one is demand from the small business. As we can see, small business they don't have many resources and low low resources, so they tend to go to external sourcing or commercial system rather than in-house development because they don't have much resources. And then demand from large organization. Why? Because right now the trend is to downsize or mean to reduce their staff. When they hire external uh, external vendor or external sourcing, so they can reduce their staff or eliminate their IS or IT staff. So that's mean by factor that contribute to the growth of commercial software market. So then next, um, we can see where we have 6 types of commercial system. The first one is turnkey system, completely finished and tested system. General purpose system or system customized, sold only as compiled program modules, limited ability to customize them. So as we can see, for turnkey, the user has limited ability to customize according to their need. As we know, in organization, they have their own need for system. So when they use turnkey system, it's quite hard for them to customize. So and then for general accounting system (GAS), like we can see for right now for SCL, IDEA, uh, it's designed to serve a wide variety of user needs. It include account payable, account receivable, payroll, inventory, and so on. So in GAS, they have a lot of module according to user need, but it's up to the user or organization to choose. Like if the organization want to choose only account payable and payroll module, then they only purchase that module only for the system. So it up to their needs. So and then special purpose system, targeted selected segment of economy, medical field, banking industry, government agency. So this special purpose system is only focused on certain expertise. So and then we go to office automation system. So it's more on the office administration system type of system like word processing, DBMS, spreadsheet, desktop publishing system. And then we go to backbone system. So backbone system provide basic system structure on which to build, come with all primary source module program, user interface and output structure need to be designed, more flexible than turnkey, but also more expensive and time consuming. So in this backbone system, so the vendor provide resource module program, this one. So the user or organization can choose among variety of resource module program where they can customize themselves. So, but using backbone system, it's quite expensive and time consuming. For example, we can see that, for example, like ERP system. So it takes 8 to 24 months, nearly 2 years, and to install, and then the cost is around 10 million to 100 million. So it's very costly. So and then we go to vendor supported system, hybrid. So hybrid means a combined custom system that they can customize their own self and commercial software. So vendor will develop and maintain the system for the client, and then the development system service. It means that the general interface and this for the system is created and developed by the vendor, but all the development and specific detail or application is developed by the user or organization itself. So they have to type this hybrid. So next we go to commercial system advantage and disadvantage. So the advantage is can be implemented almost immediately once a need is recognized. So once they know all the user needs, so they can implement it on time. And then the cost, low cost, rather than in-house, they need to recruit staff and so on. Reliability, less likely to have errors. Because why? Because they already, most vendor, they already specialized in what they do and what they design or develop. So and then disadvantage, independent. So why? Firm dependent on the vendor for maintenance. So they need to solely depend on the organization, depend on the vendor to maintenance, because they mostly the firm do not know uh, what are the source code, what are the application program in the system. So and then the need for customized system. So using commercial system, mostly organization cannot customize, so it's up to the vendor. So they need to call and contact the vendor to customize. So, and then maintenance, difficult to modify with changing user needs. So if let's say users have different requirement or needs, so it is a little bit difficult for them because it's all up to the vendor, not for the firm. And then next, we go to controlling system maintenance. So as we know, in SDLC, system development life cycle, we have 5 phases. So maintenance is the last phase after implementation, and maintenance is the longest period in SDLC. So let me go with controlling system maintenance. So the purpose for controlling system maintenance is changing system to accommodate change in user needs. Which means that if there is any change in user need, so we need to change the system to accommodate what the user want. So and then last, longest, and mostly the most costly phase of the system. Why? Because it is the longest period. The maintenance action such as technical specification, testing, document update, firmware authorization for any change. So we have two types of controlling system controlling maintenance. First kali GAS, and then vendor supported system. So as we can see in GAS, we have library, application and software. So place where programs are developed and modified. Once compiled into machine language, no longer vulnerable. So next I will explain what this means. So vendor supported system, protect the SPL. So what is SPL? SPL is source program library. So source program library is where the application program source code is stored on magnetic disk. So it means that all the application program, the source code, all of it is stored in the SPL. It's like a library. So and then the function, we can see the function here, storing program on SPL. Like I said, program or source code. We can retrieve the program for maintenance, and we can document the program change and delete obsolete program. So it enables the programmer to maintain the to maintain and make program change to the system. So next, system controlling maintenance. We have two. First kali, the worst case situation, no controls. Figure 5.12 shows this SPL without control. So we have two serious form of exposure. Firstly, access to program is completely unrestricted because we have no control. Because of this control weakness, programs are subject to unauthorized change. Means that any programmer or any irresponsible people have an unauthorized change to the uh, source code program in the SPL. So we can see this. So next we go to control SPL environment. So to control SPL, protective features and procedure must be addressed, and this require implementation of SPL management system. So if you can see in the figure, we have this black box. So the black box indicate the SPL MS. So next we will see the control for SPL. So we have 5 control. Firstly, password control. So the password control on a specific program, it means that every program in the SPL have their own password, where each programmer need to access the program using this password. So it will prevent from unauthorized change to the program source code. And then this next one is the separate test library. So program copies into program library for maintenance testing. It means that it has many test library because if there is there like if let's say we have many programmers, and then each programmer want to have a maintenance on the program, so will have a separate test library and their own password so that they can make change to the program. So and then audit trail and management report. So to enhance management control and audit function, describe software change. So audit trail is very important to verify all the change made from start to the end of the modification. So program version number, assign a version number automatically to each program stored on the SPL. So after implementation phases in the SDLC, so when the program source code have a maintenance, it will be automatically stored in SPL. So it will be given number 0, version number of 0, and then each modification of program will increase the version number to 1. So in audit trail report, so we can know how many the program have been modified by looking at the version number. Let's say the version number is 3. So it means that the program has been maintained or has been changed 3 times. So if 10 change was made but the program version number is 12. Okay, if 10 change were made to the program but the version number is 12, so it means that there may be an unauthorized changes made to the program that increase the version number to 12, but the exact change is only 10. So the auditor can know that for the past year they have that the program source code have an authorized change. So and then the controlling access to maintenance, SPL management system use powerful maintenance command to alter, eliminate program password, alter program version number, and temporarily modify a program without generating a code record of modification. So system controlling maintenance, we have uh, detect unauthorized program maintenance. This is audit objective. Detect unauthorized program maintenance, which may result in significant processing error or fraud. Firstly, determine that maintenance procedure protect application from unauthorized changes. Determine application are free from material errors. Determine SPL source program libraries protected from unauthorized access. So this is how the auditing of SPL software system. This is the flow. And then the audit procedure. Firstly, identify unauthorized changes, reconcile program version numbers, like I said previously. Look at the program version numbers and the number of modification made to the program. So confirmation, maintenance, authorization. Identify the application errors, reconcile source code, review test result. So to see if the result is the same as before, retest the program, test access to the library, review programming authority table, test authority table. That's all from me. Next, I will pass to the Aiman Ikhwan.
Okay, Assalamualaikum and hi everyone. My name is Muhammad Maikwan. So I proceed with the disaster recovery. Okay, so what is disaster? Disaster is the any natural or man-made event that disrupt the operational of the business in such a significant way that a considerable and coordinated effort is required to achieve a recovery. So in the simple word, I can say is the disaster is the any sudden or unplanned event that may get damage or loss. So this is the type of disaster. I can give three types: nature, human-made, or system failure. So the nature, I can give example like a fire, flood, or maybe we can say COVID-19 is the one of the natural disaster. And next, I proceed the human-made disaster. Human-made disaster, I can give an example sabotage. And last, system failure. System failure, power outages or driver failure. So the not all critical disruption in service are classified disaster, but still are a high risk of nature. So, for example, disruption in service is sometimes caused by system malfunction. So the disaster have a potential to cause an incident. Incident might or might not cause disruption to normal operation. So this is incident classification. Level incident classification. The first one is major, minor, and negligible. So the first one that cases I can example it can give a impact affect the organization ability to continue business function. So the next one is the major. Okay, major. Major is can give a impact that one or more department might or even that affect the external client. And next, minor. Minor it cause a little or no damage. Negligible, detectable event cause no damage or no long-term effect. So, distributive incident such as a crisis, major or minor, event should be tracked or analyzed so that the corrective action can be taken to prevent this event from the occur in the future. Okay, so how disaster affect the business? This is a 6. Supply chain disruption, communication barrier, damaged buildings, loss of equipment, loss of personnel, loss of clientele. So, give example 2 only. The first one, supply chain disruption. So, supply chain are important to success a company. For example, supply of meat is important to operation of cheese making factory. So, unfortunately, natural disaster interfere with this supply chain because they affect, for example, they affect the airport. So, the airport remain closed. So, then this means moving goods in effect this area impossible. So, the factory will be stop its operation because it cannot produce cheese without receiving meat from its supplier. And then continue with communication barrier. So the loss of communication infrastructure has an impact of the business as well. So it is occur when the natural disaster, destroy a power station, cell tower, or an optical fiber line. So that means communication will stop So the call, text message or social media is difficult or impossible. Okay, so proceed to disaster recovery plan. So the purpose is to enable a business to continue operating critical service in the event of the disruption of and to survive disastrous interruption to their information system. So a document process or set of procedure to execute an organization disaster recovery process and recover and protect a business IT infrastructure in the event of a disaster. Key step toward making sure your business can recover data and continue operation in the event of disaster. It is a comprehensive statement of consistent action to be taken before, during, and after disaster. Workable plans post 4 common features. First one, identify critical application. And second, create a disaster recovery team. Provide site backup. Specify backup and offsite storage procedure. Okay. So the first one, identify critical application. So recovery effort must concentrate on restoring those applications that are critical to the short-term survival of the organization. The plan should focus on short-term survival, which is at risk in any disaster scenario. For most organizations, short-term survival requires the restoration of those functions that generate cash flow sufficient to satisfy short-term obligations. For example, assume that the following function affect the cash flow position of a particular firm: customer sales and service, fulfillment of legal obligation, accounts receivable, maintenance and collection, production and distribution decision, purchasing function, cash disbursement. The computer application that support this business function directly are critical. Hence, this application should be identified and prioritized in the installation plan. Application prioritized may change over time, and utilization must be reassessed regularly. Systems are constantly revised and expanded to reflect change in user requirements. Similar to DRB disaster recovery plan must be updated to reflect new development and identify critical applications. Up-to-date priorities are important because they affect other aspects of the strategic plan. The task of identifying critical items and prioritizing application requires the active participation of user department, accountant, and auditor. So, okay. So number 2, creating a disaster recovery team. Recovery from a disaster depends on timely corrective action. So delay in performing essential tasks prolongs the recovery period and diminish the prospect for a successful recovery. To avoid serious omission or duplication of effort during implementation of the contingency plan, task responsibility must be clearly defined and communicated to the personnel involved. So this figure presents an organization chart show the composition of the disaster recovery team. So the members should be expert in their areas and have assigned tasks. So the following disaster team member will be delegate subtasks to their subordinate. So it should be noted that the traditional control concern do not apply in this setting. This environment created by the disaster may make it necessary to obey this control principles such as the segregation of duties, access control, and supervision. Okay, so this is a second subactivity group, IBDB media and so on, program and data backup group, data commission, and data control group. So, this department have their objective. So for this objective, prepare backup site operation and acquire hardware from Windows. And this provide a conversion. Their objective is provide conversion for all critical application, data file and documentation. And this objection establish the data computation and data control function necessary to protect critical application. Okay. So number 3 is providing site backup. This is important DRP that provides for the duplicate data processing facility following a disaster. So more the option available, the most common are Mutual Apex, Anticia, Government Operation Center ROC, internally provide backup. So the first one start with the Mutual Apex. It is an agreement between two or more organizations with compatible computer facility to aid each other with their data process need in the event of a disaster. So this is a popularity of popular of this reciprocal agreement is driven by the economy. These are relatively costly to implement. So in effect, mutual effect work better in theory than in the practice. So in the event of disaster, the chain company has no guarantee that the partner company will be left up with their promise of assistance. So Net and Tisha, an arrangement wherein the company buys or leases a building that will serve as a data center. So in the event of disaster, the shell is available already to receive whatever hardware of the temporary user need to run intention system. So this approach, however, has a fundamental weakness. So recovery depends on the time availability of the necessary computer hardware to restore the data processing function. So management must obtain the assurance to the contract with hardware vendor that in the event of the disaster, the vendor will give a company needs priority. Okay, next, the recovery operation center. A fully equipped backup data center that many companies share. ROC service provide offer range of the technical service to their client who pay an annual fee for the access net. So in the event major disaster, top server can occupy the premise and within a few hours and resume processing critical application. So last, internet provide backup. Last organization with the multiple data processing center often prefer self-reliance that getting internet access capacity provides. So, okay, next, backup and offsite storage procedure. So, all data files, application, documentation, and supply need to perform critical functions should be automatically backup and storage as a secure offsite location. So, data processing personnel should routinely perform backup and storage procedure to obtain and secure these critical resources. So, start with the operating system backup. So, if the company use a code type or other method of site backup does not include a compatible operating system, procedure of obtaining the version of the operating system need to be clearly specified. Okay. So, application backup, the DRB should include procedure to get a copy of the conversion of critical application. So in the case commercial software, so this is involve purchasing backup copies of the latest software update used by the organization. Okay, so and the second is the for in-house development application. So backup procedure should be an integral step in the perform development and program change process. Okay. So next, backup data file. So the database should be copied daily to high capacity, high speed media such as a tape, CD or DVD, and secure offsite. So in the event of disruption, reconstruction of the database is achieved by updating the most current backup version with the subsequent translation data. Likewise, a master file and the translation file should be protected. Okay. So next, backup documentation. Okay. And backup supplies and source document. So the organization should keep a backup inventory of the supply and source documentation in the processing critical transaction. Example, critical supplies are check of stock, invoice, purchase order, and any other special purpose form cannot be obtained immediately. So the DRV should specify the types and the quantity need of this special item because these are the routine element of the daily operation. They are often overlooked a disaster contingency planner. At this point, it is worth noting that a copy of the current DRV document should also offset a secure location. Okay, last, testing the DRV. Testing DRV is important, should be performed frequently. So test measure the preparedness of the personnel, identify omission and bottleneck in the plan. So a test is most useful when the simulation or disruption is surpassed. So when the mock disaster is announced, so the status of processing effect by it should be documented. This approach provides a benchmark for a subsequent performance assessment. So at the conclusion of the test, the result can be analyzed and the DRV performance report prepared. So the organization management should seek measure of the performance in each of the following areas. For example, the first one, okay, the effective of DRV team personnel and their knowledge level, the degree of commission success, for example, the number of loss record, an estimate of financial loss due to the loss record of facility, and 4, the effectiveness of program data and documentation backup and recovery procedure. This is pasal of the disaster recovery plan. Start with the prevention, continue, and recovery. So prevention using measures serve minimize impact of the disaster, maximize the ability of the organization. Continuity during disaster, maintaining core mission critical system and resource, initiating secondary hot site during a disaster, preserving essential system and resource, recovery post disaster, restoration of all system and resource to full normal operation status. Organization can cut down on recovery time by subscribing to quick shift programs. Okay. So objective of recovery plan testing. Okay. So the first part, exercise the recovery process and procedure. Number 2, familiarize staff with the recovery process and documentation. Verify the effectiveness of the record documentation. Verify the effectiveness of the recovery site. Establish if the recovery objectives are achievable. Last, identify improvement required to the disaster recovery strategy, infrastructure, and recovery process. Okay, audit procedure disaster recovery plan. So in Verify the Management, DRD is a listed solution for dealing with the disaster. So the following things may be performed: site backup, critical application disk, software backup, data backup, backup supplies and documentation, disaster recovery team. So for the site backup, so the auditor should evaluate the adequacy of the backup site arrangement. So more viable but expensive option are the empty shell and ROC. Okay, this one, empty shell and ROC. Okay, so if the client organization is using the empty shell method, so then the auditor need to verify the existence of the valid contract with the hardware vendor that guarantee the delivery of the needed computer hardware with the minimum delay after a disaster. Okay, so if the client is a member ROC, so the auditor should be concerned about the numbers of the ROC member and their geographic dispersion. Okay, so next, critical application list. So the auditor should review the list of the critical application to ensure that it's a complete. Missing application can result in the failure to recover. Okay. So software backup. Software backup, the auditor should verify the copies of the critical application and operating system are stored offsite. So the auditor should also verify the application store of the site current by compare their version number with those the actual application in use. Next, number 4, data backup. Data backup, the auditor should verify the critical data file are backup in accordance with the DRB, Digital Recovery Plan. Okay, so backup supplies and documentation. So the system documentation, supplies and source document need to be processed. Critical transaction should be backup and store offsite. So the auditor should verify the types and the quantity of the items specified in the disaster recovery plan, such as the check stock, invoice, purchase order, and any special purpose form exists in the secure location. Okay, thus disaster recovery team. So the DRB should clear list the name, address, and emergency telephone numbers of the disaster recovery team member. So the auditor should verify that the member of the team are current employees and are aware of their assigned responsibilities. Okay, thank you. So next, I pass to my friend Zainina to proceed with the business continuity plan.
Assalamualaikum. My name is Zainina Zulaika. So I will continue with business continuity plan. So business continuity plan or BCP is a plan or procedure or arrangement developed by an organization for them to respond to any risk or disaster that may be occur in their business operation. So BCP is critical business function to continue with plan level of interruption or essential change. So BCP is a plan to help ensure that business processes can continue even during the time of emergency or disaster. So there's a few objectives that BCP can give to the company. First, it guides the company's disaster recovery teams, where it has detailed steps on how the team want to handle the risk, and then it helps to identify disaster recovery personnel, assess risk and impact, provide the step-by-step protocol, identify the location of critical data and asset, prioritize emergency communication because at BCP they do analyze first, so they can prioritize which risk is the first, which risk is the least emergency one, and then identify backup location and resources, outline existing preventive measurement, find weakness and propose a solution for the weakness. And then what do BCP and DR or disaster recovery plans include? It includes an organization ability to recover from a disaster, and it enables them to resume their operation after the disaster. And then it includes how employees will communicate, where they will go, and how they will keep doing their job after the risk or this disaster happen. And then this BCP usually depends on size and the scope of the company. So this is BCP process. How basically BCP work. The first is through assessment. The team will do business risk impact assessment, and then they will prepare for possible emergency, possible emergency from outside and inside of the company, and then they will do disaster recovery phase uh, where disaster is already happened in the company, and then after disaster recovery, then they will do the business recovery phase, and then after all this phase they will return back to normal. This is the continuous cycle where company always face business risk, always face disaster, so it is a continuous process. So this is a BCP step on how the risk assessment team make their BCP. So first one is project management and initiation. This is where management of the organization set budget. They determine the theme of the risk assessment, and then they make the process started. So this is where BCP team they identify all possible threat and risk, whether it's outside or inside of the company, and then they're ranking the risk, perform analysis to them, and then they will documenting and communicate with other employees. And then the next step is business impact analysis. This is where the BCP team think all possible disaster that might happen in the company, and then they assess the risk, and then they determine the loss that will occur, and then they will develop a plan to deal with the risk. And then we continue with the next step is recovery strategy. Organization must come up with an effective recovery strategy. Effective recovery strategy, they must have these three controls: preventive, detective, and corrective control, so that they can achieve this. They can remove identified threats, reduce the likelihood of the identified risk, and reduce the impact of the risk. And then there's several different ways of operation interruption that may be occur. So the first one is data interruption, operational interruption, facility and supply interruption, and business interruption. Next step of BCP is plan, design, and development. This is where the team will selecting critical function and priorities for restoration, determining support system for the risk, and then estimating potential disaster, calculating the minimum resources that needed for the risk to recover, and then determine the procedure for declaring how they want to declare the disaster, and then what effect that will occur, and then identify who responsible for each function in the plan, and then they will choose the best recovery strategies and many more. And then after the plan design and development step, this is where BCP will train and spread awareness to other employees, the one who does not involve in the BCP team. So this goal for training and awareness is to make sure all employees of the organization know what to do, what their role in case of emergency occur. So this is like the example, the role and their responsibility when any disaster or risk happen. Like senior management, the responsibility is project initiate. They initiate the BCP plan and responsible for overall, and they give their support. And the mid management, they prioritize of critical system. BCP community and team members, of course, they have their role. And then functional business unit, each unit of business also have their role. And then IT audit also have their role, like they review the BCP plan whether it's relevant or not, and then they test the result evaluation and many more. And then after the spread awareness, they must implement and test the BCP plan. So basically, BCP plan, it involves all of the unit, all department of the organization, because all the department have their own risk and disaster that will occur. So each department must have their own team. So they must involve in the BCP plan, and they must test whether the plan is relevant for their department or not. And then there's few types of BCP testing. There are paper test, full operation test, preparedness test. Paper test is the basic method for BCP testing. It's performed by sending copies of plan to different departments, and the manager review them. And the preparedness test is a simulation, which team members go through an exercise that reenact an actual outage or disaster. So they react the disaster that might be happen. And the full operation test is where they go test for the whole operation, fully operation. So they verify the business continuity plan, and then they evaluate the level of preparedness of the personnel involved, and measuring the capability of the backup site to operate as planned, assessing the ability to retrieve vital records and information, and then they measure overall preparedness of the organization to the actual disaster. And then the next step is monitoring and maintenance. This is a crucial part also for the BCP plan, because every time organization face different risks. They might face different risks for different time. So it is crucial for them to performing predict tests, and they maintain the plan. But this is should assign to only one specific person. And then the plans maintenance can be streamlined by incorporating change management procedures to address issues that might affect the BCP plan. And then there's a few more additional items that can be done to finish the BCP plan. So this is the detail of BCP and Disaster Recovery Plan, DRP. Purpose of BCP, it provides procedures for sustaining essential business operation while recovering for disruption, and its cover addresses business process. And then DRP, it provides detailed procedure to facilities recovery, which means DRP is in BCP, is an element of BCP. So DRP, it often focus on the IT part. BCP and DRP, it also have both has similarities where both are considered to unplanned event, of course, because they are planned to react with the risk, and then their goals is to ensure business running smoothly even facing any risk or disaster. So benefit of this both is it reduce risk because we can analyze, identify risk, process improvement, we can improve our organizational maturity, we can improve availability and reliability, and then it also give marketplace advantage. And then this also give different BCP and DRP. BCP is more proactive because it's a wholesome plan, but disaster is more to reactivate any disaster happen. And then BCP is comprehensive planning, but DRP is planning step on recovering only certain problem. And many more differences like uh, BCP, it focus on process and procedure uh, to the whole function, but DRP, it give a step for specific incident. Elements of recovery strategies. These are the elements of the recovery strategies. Business recovery strategy, it focuses on the business operation. Facilities and supply recovery strategy focus on the facility and alternate recovery site. And then user recovery strategy, it focus on the people. And then technical recovery, more focus on the IT services. Data recovery, of course, it's recover information asset, which is data. So for the auditor, what's their task is they must to evaluate the adequacy of backup and restore, and they restore provision to ensure that the information is available to resume processing. And then auditor must evaluate the organization plan, the DRP plan, to ensure it enables the recovery of IT processing if disaster happen. And then they will evaluate the organization BCP to ensure that the organization ability to continue essential business during the period of an